Do you want the good news or the bad news first? The good news is, instead of you having to watch all 15 episodes of the Ambulance series, we made one long episode going over every modification and detail that we can remember that took place on this ambulance camper conversion build. The bad news is this episode is an hour long, but fear not, per usual, this episode is action-packed with Easter eggs that you have never seen before, such as the new ATV winch hookup for the Murphy bed. Like always, you don't want to miss another action-packed episode.
Well, before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and follow along. We have another episode after this. We're gonna take this thing to a cars and coffee show here in a few days. Make sure you guys stick around because we have a lot of action-packed episodes coming your way. So William, here we are with the Ambulance. It's been 168 days, everything is done, and we're gonna give everybody a top to bottom explanation of all the work that you have done. So standing out here in the front, what do we got going on with the grill? Because I can see a lot of this stuff is not factory.
So we took out the original emergency flashers that were here and we put in LEDs. We changed out the headlights to a newer style headlights and the marker lights to all LED. Air horn we kept. We painted it with a Raptor liner. We went with the gray and the black. I did the bottom valance also.
Underneath here, and it just rained last night, so this is all sand here in Florida. Got your mirrors. That was another
we
addition.
changed out the mirrors and got rid of the big tow mirrors that were all chrome and factory. They just kind of an eyesore. You can put them in like that, or you can pull them out. We took the steps, all the diamond plate tread, all the trim all the way around, and we Raptor lined it black. That's a nice accent.
You added these.
Those are marker lights. There was a flasher light there. They're tied into the clearance lights, so that when you have the vehicle on, you have orange up front and red in the rear. Okay, so there was an emergency light there, and on that corner, I did away with those and took and made cover plates for them, and we installed speakers in their place that are hooked to the Bluetooth module so we can have music on the outside. I painted all the hinges instead of Raptor lining them. They're a gray finish that match all the stuff outside, but they are painted, not Raptor lined. We left all the chrome handles, did the wheel trim in black also. These vents were added for the refrigerator venting system, so there's some fans back here that are thermostatic controlled, and they push out the hot air from the cabinet that the refrigerator resides in. Again, black on the back bumper, all new LED lights, LED side lights. We kept the factory turn signals back here with the directional arrows. I thought they were cool.
But you hit them with what grit sandpaper?
I did, they were kind of faded. I think I hit them with a 320 or something like that. Then put a coat of clear on them so they can shine up a little bit. We've got our water fill for our kitchen 40-gallon water tank. We have an outdoor shower right here that we can hook up. So it's got a quick connect right here. So that's hooked up. Hot and cold water. There's 40 gallons there, so if you want to do a quick rinse off outside before you got in, you know, it's not a big deal. So,
wow, that's really good pressure, bud.
So.
Get out of here. That's awesome. Come on now.
So you quick connect off. You can shut these off if you want.
Wow.
So we've got an LED light bar. All the marker lights up on the corners have all been changed out to LED. I am pre-wired for a backup camera all the way up to the front cab.
And then these were lights that you plated over, right?
Yes, those were 3 emergency lights that we plated over. Same here, was an emergency light we plated over. We've got exterior 110 power. We've got shore power hookup for 30 amp. Replaced the nubs on here for the when the door opens. Blocked off the 2 plates on the end, no speakers on this side, and kept those lights. Those still work.
If you haven't seen the episode, it's the episode where William paints the Ambulance, but these are actually sliding glass door stops that you would get at a Home Depot or Lowe's, and they're basically exactly the same as the stock ones, so that was ingenious.
These I just put back in the same holes. I used the lenses from the rear because these were red lenses. These are just non-active. They're just sitting here blocking a big hole on the side, but that's pretty much it. As you can see, there's a big bag on the front of this. That is the air conditioner. So, whenever you're going to use this thing, you got to take the cover off.
Now, if somebody bought one of these, mini split on the top, and didn't have a bag, what were the repercussions?
It will run in reverse and pretty much destroy the unit.
His fan blew up too, right?
His fan shredded and blew up. It's bad. It cannot take the wind and blowing in reverse and all that stuff. It's too much for it. It basically self-destructs. So you can't do that. So basically, you cannot drive unless it's covered. One of my only choices to put this up here. I would have liked to put it somewhere else, but I just didn't have that option in this build. It only takes 5 minutes, if that, to get disconnected and undone. So just take it off, take it to that side, and at that point the air conditioner is uncovered and ready for use.
This is all the waterproof Carflex and connectors that William used for all the electrical.
So this is the money cabinet. I would say on the one area that I spent the most money is probably the electrical, which is probably going to be where most people spend their money. So we have 940 watts of solar on the roof. We have 4 panels that are 235 watts apiece. And they come into this cabinet that makes the heart and soul of this ambulance run. I've got 3 170 amp hour batteries. They are lithium, they are serviceable. They have displays on the front that tell you your voltage. They are ran into the system via some lugs in a parallel format.
So these are the positives and the negatives, all these 3 batteries, and they come to this positive and negative here. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and this is, what is the, if I were to touch that, that's just 12
volt.
12 volts, because that's what everyone,
touch it all day.
People were saying on TikTok. They're like, oh, don't touch that connector. Well, it's just 12 volts. Yep. Anything that's higher voltage you have covered. So they come off of the 2 lugs here per your anal fuse and go up this way, right?
So it goes up to the Victron BMV shunt, the bottom of the shunt.
Okay.
Okay. And this is monitored inside via the display and also via my phone through Bluetooth.
Great.
The positive comes up here to the battery disconnect, which feeds power into the links distributor. These are all fused links in here. Okay, so this comes out of here, these 2 big cables, and comes down to the Victron MultiPlus charger inverter. It's a 3,000 watt 12 volt charger inverter. It gives you 120 amps. So this converts your 12 volt into AC electric or 120 amp house power. This also is the charger. It does bulk absorption and float charging for the batteries.
So you have your 2 coming in off of your distributor, right?
Correct.
And then where are these 2 coming off? Where are these going?
So this goes to the back. This is my shore power coming in.
Oh, okay.
And then this is my feed to my breaker panel for my 110 power.
Which is this guy. Okay, so coming up here. So that's your 110 breaker. It goes, splits off into
got
there.
A 50 amp breaker and then 3 20 amp breakers.
That 50 amp is for the whole box, correct?
That's for the entire ambulance.
The entire ambulance.
So
okay.
If you'll notice that, or I said earlier, we have 30 amp shore power. Say you're plugged in and you're pulling, and you're requiring more than 30 amps. Say you're running AC, all the lights, and you decide to break out the air fryer. That might be more, I don't know, but that say that's more than 50 amps. But this only supplies, or this will supply up to 50 amps of power. That's why I have a 50 amp breaker in here. So if you're bringing in 30 amps from there, it will draw the difference from your batteries, even though you're plugged in, to meet 50 amps of power. We have the Orion smart charger, okay, a DC to DC charger. That's also a Victron product. It's Bluetooth. And what it does is this vehicle has 2 alternators, whether you have 2 or 1, whatever, it doesn't matter. But this basically hooks to that, and when you're running the vehicle, it's putting power into these batteries or keeping them maintained or topping them off or whatever. So it's another source of charging.
So if for some reason you were in a deep, dark area that had no sunlight, you're in a cave, when you're running it.
When you turn the vehicle on and you're bringing in power to the batteries to keep them charged or charge them.
So here in Florida, this would be less necessary, I'm assuming, because it's so sunny.
Correct.
Okay.
But on a rainy day?
Yeah, yeah. Now, the wires that are coming off of this distributor? Like, where are these? They're going down to here. What do we got?
These two here come up to the distributor. That's the next in line. So you've got the multi-plus, then you've got the DC to DC charger. Then you have the 12-volt circuit of the here. So these are all my 12-volt circuits. There's 15 12-volt circuits. So the pumps, the magnet locks, the lighting, anything that's requiring 12 volts is running on this side, the DC side of the panel.
And that's these wires. These are all the stock ambulance wires ran into there. Is that correct? For the most, some of them?
Some of them are just stock ambulance. Some of them are what I ran. But yeah, that's all your DC electric. So all your 12 volt.
Okay.
And then next in line is these two cables here, MPPT. So I have a 150 to 70 MPPT, my solar charge controller. So my solar comes into here from my solar array up top. It comes down and feeds into here.
Gotcha. And then it takes it from here and then goes...
distributes it and charges my batteries and all of that. We can shut down the solar if we need to right here via this breaker. That boom shuts it off. You can shut off your inverter if you're not using it or don't need it on. You can shut it off. There's a spot for a fourth battery to hook up. Everything is fused properly. This box here is a switch pod for the front cab that controls the lights. So we have their two side lights. We have our rear lights, bumper lights, and this is for a future light bar. And then this spot's free also.
Where'd you get the middle finger with the rear light? That came with the kit?
Yeah, they came with the kit. So someone's being a jerk riding my butt, I can hit the rear lights and boom, light them up.
That's that big rear light bar.
Light bar. So those tie into here and those are switched up there. That's just a ground bar for all those links. That up there is the locking system. So the power locks up front actually lock the rear doors, and there's a locking switch in the back that you can hit and lock the cab doors. So at the end of the night, you hit that button or whatever, it locks everything down, including the front cab doors.
And what everybody can't see right now is behind this panel.
Behind this panel is all the ambulance electric that some of it was kept, some of it wasn't, but there's a huge panel in here with more electrical. So as intimidating as this looks, this is even more intimidating looking. It's covered. We don't need to look at it. It all works. Good to go. So this is the original ambulance tag. Obviously, they kept air packs in here. Manufacturers' weights when they did the voltage testing and everything. Gross max vehicle weight is 14,050 pounds. We weighed in last week, fully loaded, and we came in at 12.3. So we are good to go on the weight. Cabinet number 2. This is electrical, plumbing, miscellaneous repair stuff. This is the recirculating shower system, 16-gallon tank. It drains into this tank. And
Your
then
shower, correct?
My shower. And then it goes down in the shower pan, goes down the drain, comes into here.
Per gravity, it's coming in through there?
Yep.
Okay.
Per gravity. This is just a vent tube right there to vent the tank. And then it comes out of here, comes into, I think, a 50 micron filter. Then out of here to a 20 micron sediment turn down filter that you can turn and rinse and all that. And then it comes into these 3 filters there. With all these filters in place, it'll take out the detergents, it'll take out, any debris, down to 1 micron, to where this water, theoretically, I'm not going to try it, but I definitely would bathe in it again, over and over again, but theoretically you could drink that water.
Before water goes to the pump, it's got these 2 filters, and then it hits the pump, and the pump pushes it through these filters. Is that correct?
Yep. And then back into the coach.
Wow. Cool. And you guesstimated based on kind of what you
About
read?
30 showers before you really need to take out your filters, rinse them, change them, however you're going to do it. I'm figured about 30 showers. So if you shower twice a day, 2 weeks.
So a lot of people don't maybe not realize, I guess, if you're buying an RV, a brand new one,
this is not an option. And if you're buying unless you put this in, if you're buying an RV or even most of your camper builds, you're restricted on water. So if you're trying to conserve water, you're going to take a shower, you're going to get wet, you're going to turn the water off. You're going to lather up, get soaked up, get clean, and then you're going to rinse off, and then you're going to shut the water off again to try to conserve water. I can take 20-minute hot showers and not worry about it. Tool storage. So, you need tools to repair stuff or fix stuff or tinker or whatever, so I built this little box here.
In case you need 4 razor knives, you have 4 razor knives.
Yeah. You never know if one of them fails, or two, or three.
2 wire strippers.
Yes, 2 wire strippers.
3 wire strippers, my bad.
Hey.
I'm not knocking it, man. You're the man.
So, screwdriver.
5 razor knives, my bad.
We got some drills and batteries up here. We got a miscellaneous bucket of screws that came out of the ambulance. That box is the box that keeps on giving. Every time I need a screw or a bolt, I go to that box and usually can find it. It does have trailer brakes, so if you were pulling a trailer with electric brakes, it has a 7-pin connector.
Did you install any of the trailer brakes? It came with that, yeah?
It came with that.
Beautiful.
Got these big welded on D-rings. So back to our water tank. This is our 40-gallon water tank. We've got storage up there, storage in here. We've got our filter, our pump, and everything in between. We do have shutoff valves on just about everything to isolate. In case you had a leak, you could isolate and work on things. Propane tank fits in there nicely. Propane is for the stove, 2-burner gas stove, and the hot water heater. You pull this valve, turn it on, and the water heater ignites automatically as soon as it senses water pressure. And the stove, you just turn the knob, hit the igniter, and it fires up.
Great.
So this is the battery for the ambulance. It has 3 batteries. It doesn't need 3, but they have 3 on it because they actually use these to run stuff also, rather than having a separate battery bank.
If you guys can see, you had to cut out the metal box and drop that shower pan in. Yeah?
Yes. So that's the aluminum, and then we came in and put in a floor in here and the shower pan. So the shower pan comes all the way back to here. This was here, but we dropped that section of it down to there. The same with the top. It was as deep as this box was, but I didn't need all that depth because what's above us is the hot water heater.
Gotcha.
So this is the hot water system that feeds hot water to both the kitchen and the shower. These are on valves, so we don't mix the hot water from the kitchen, or we don't draw from, when we're using the kitchen, we don't draw from the kitchen or from the shower. That's, you know, the recirculated water, and vice versa.
So the 2 lines here
Go to the kitchen.
Yep, and so these are using potable water that you can drink.
Right.
And this line here is coming from your shower, which is the recirculated water.
Correct.
Gotcha, okay, just to clarify. So that's why you don't want those kind of mixing. Yep. And how do these valves turn on and off? How are they wired up?
So there's switches that are next to each pump. So each pump has its own switch. And so if you're using the shower, you turn this valve open and turn on the shower pump, and that allows you to use that. If you're using the kitchen, you want to make sure that this is shut and this is open and the pump for this one, and you use it. So any heat that this thing dissipates from the heating of the water through the element will vent out there. That vent on the other side is for the exhaust vent for the shower and the toilet area. I tore down the complete wall that was here and reframed it for my purpose. There was just it was just a window, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't
a walkthrough.
It wasn't a walkthrough, it was just
yeah, it was just a window pass through. So I framed it up so we could walk through. I rebuilt the walls. These are insulated. These are like 2.5 or 2 inches thick. I guess with the shower, they're about 3 inches thick. These are insulated, nice and solid. I covered it with the same flooring material on the bulkhead and here. You can see the shower pan down there that keeps the water in. That's pretty much it.
That's the shower pan down here.
Yeah. There is a small button over here in this corner. That is the magnet lock bypass. It's a momentary switch.
Right now, I can't get into it? Okay.
And that allows you to...
Gotcha, so now it's locked again.
Now it's locked again.
So you have to hold the switch as
you
you're
have to
opening
hold
the
the switch open to open the door.
Now, the other thing, you picked this up for $10, yeah?
I found this on Facebook Marketplace. I got rid of the ambulance cluster that was here because we did away with almost all of that. And I found this for $10, and it was the deluxe one that has the cubby for paperwork and the deep cubby in here and the cup holders and the change holder. And I thought about I was gonna maybe clean it up a little more than this and whatever, but I kind of like it. It works. Other than that, factory AC, 97,000 miles, 97,994.
And you've been daily driving this for the last 5 months.
Been daily driving it for the last 9 months, or 5 months, and since December 8th, and I think it had 96 and some change, so I put maybe 2,000 miles on it.
Literally had zero mechanical issues. We had the ICP.
We had the ICP that went out, and we're having the surging. Other than that, I've changed the fuel filter, changed the oil, and changed out that ICP, and she runs great.
Had it into the service station, and they said, "Hey, this thing looks like it's in real good shape." And
Yeah,
so that's
they said it looked great. Everything works out good.
Underneath the hood, the only thing you really had to do was this AC system here, the factory Ford, it had a big unit on the roof.
So they had a big condenser on the roof, a compressor and stuff mounted up underneath the ambulance, and it was all tied into the factory AC system here. And what it did, it used the cooling lines from the motor, and coolant ran all the way through the rear AC, and that was how they got their heat. And had a blower motor, and it blew across the coils when that was going on. So that's pretty much the only thing I paid anybody else to do.
Would that charge you at a radiator shop to do that?
$350.
Man, that's a deal, because they just basically looped a hose on your head.
Yep.
And soldered
tied it
off.
back into another, tied off the line in there that it was up there where it split. Got that all plugged off, and then I was able to cut all the lines free from the top condenser, the compressors, everything. They evacuated it. I demoed all of that because that was in the way. And the only way that was able to be used was to have the motor running.
So now when you crank up the AC, it's all just the inside
this
cab.
is just the cab area. I painted the diamond plate inside gray color. I repainted all of this white all the way around, kept the factory windows with the screens. We just added some faux blind film, so from the outside it looks like you got some blinds going on, but it's just a film. So crank that open, painted the door jambs gray.
This is something that was maintained factory, yeah?
Yep, this is the door lock switch.
That works?
Yep, so right now that locks all the doors on the cab and the rear doors and the side door. Not the compartments, just the entry doors.
And this is the back side of your water cabinet.
This is the back side of the water cabinet. So I took, and instead of doing traditional shiplap, I bought cabinet grade plywood, 1/2 inch, and took a saw and cut grooves in it to make it look like shiplap, and painted it. That was my way of doing shiplap without doing shiplap. Again, shiplap on this wall, shiplap here, shiplap on the front shower wall.
Shiplap up there.
Shiplap up there. This panel here is removable. There's Velcro going all the way across and all the way down each side. That's for the mosquito net. These 6 screws come out. This panel comes off. You can get to any of the lights, the hookups back here, backup camera, all of that. I gutted this down to the bare frame. So it was nothing but steel or aluminum studs and aluminum cage with wires, lots and lots of wires. I re-insulated it with rock wool, 2-inch insulation. Every cavity, everywhere I could stick it, it has it. Then I put a 1/2 inch furring strip down the walls, just cut out of plywood. That's kind of what the factory does also. I put a 1/4 inch plywood ceiling in to hold the insulation up after I ran my wires.
That's this that you painted gray,
I
right?
painted that gray. And then we put a teak strip or 1x ceiling on. These are about 1x2s, maybe 1x3s. Ceiling all the way across, seamless. And then my can lighting or puck lighting, that's all LED.
And to tell you what, just from another bystander's point of view, the insulation on this thing, it blows my mind that it can be so hot outside. You walk in here and you feel like it's air conditioning. It's hot and nasty Florida weather right now, and it's 72 in here. It literally, it's so well insulated. You did such a good job with that rock wool. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Air conditioning's on. It's set it to 70 degrees, 69 degrees.
Perfect.
And it's running right now. Now, obviously, it's pulling the temperature, so it's running at its highest power right now. It's pulling 700 watts of electricity.
Great. So how long could that run?
Right now it says it can run 14 hours at that. But once it brings it to temperature,
Yeah.
and you put it on low or it adjusts down and it's just keeping it that temperature, so it runs a little bit at a time, it'll go down to like 200, 250 watts.
Gotcha. So it could basically...
Then it can run a lot longer. But obviously you're running lights and you're running this and running that. I mean, are you going to be able to run this for all day? No. You're going to deplete your batteries.
Gotcha.
Can you run it overnight? You shouldn't have an issue.
Since you normally don't run the AC, you usually stick to the max air vent fan.
I'll run this max air fan, put it on draw, open these screens. I was out here last night tinkering with some stuff. It's Florida, even at night, it gets hot, you know. But I had this on and it was bringing a breeze through here. So the old max air fan, as long as it's not too bad, it does the trick.
That with the insulation, I think would fare well in you know,
in most
San
weathers.
Francisco, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think that in the summer you would be all right without even having to have the AC, to be honest.
Right.
The way you have it insulated, but
we did tile backsplash, butcher block countertop.
Where'd you get that butcher block from?
We got that at Home Depot. Just some in stock that they had. We cut it to size. You saw on the episode, we drew out the sink on here. We practiced a little bit on some scrap wood to make sure we had it right, because we wanted it to, you know, be just right for the cutting board.
That's really good pressure. I mean, that's no different than your own house.
No, it's not bad. I mean, it could be a little more, but you're not getting splashed or whatever. It's good to go. As soon as you turn it off, the pump shuts off. We got 2-burner gas stove here. Like I said, turn on the propane on the outside. Fire this up, hit the igniter, you're good to go.
And safety?
Carbon monoxide. So we have a slide out here for silverware. Some linen, some pot holders, some knives. Gives you access underneath here if you need to, plus silverware.
And that was something you just custom built. That wasn't anything you bought.
Yeah, I needed the place to put a few things, and so I built this 16-inch drawer slides. You know, it works. I mean, it's nice and closes. I have magnet locks on it so it stays closed.
And I think people need to realize, too, is when you see these cabinets, you might think, oh, that's easy. I'll go buy some cabinets and throw it in here. Every single part of these cabinets have been basically disassembled, cut down.
If I did it again, I think I would build my cabinets. This worked. It was quick. I mean, it was not a problem modding these and cutting them down to fit my situation. You know, your standard cabinets, 24 inches deep. These are 20 inches deep, so we cut 4 inches off of them. You know, this had a whole nother, I think this is 26 inches or something like that. We cut another 8 inches off the bottom or so. I think I would build them if I did it again, but no complaints. So we got our ice refrigerator. So we have a locking lock right here that you pull up, and basically you can pull out your ice refrigerator and have access to the fridge freezer combo, or you can do fridge or freezer. It's lit. You can see down in there. These baskets are removable, so you can get down in there more. They work.
Great. I want to see. You see back in there, these are the 2 fans. And so if this space gets hot from the refrigerator, right now it is at 83 degrees. What temperature do you have this
I have it set to 98 degrees.
Gotcha.
So if this refrigerator is running and it gets 98 degrees in this cabinet, those fans kick on and start pushing all the air out through those vents. Have shutoffs back there, P-trap, and down to the gray water tank. These 2 are wired for future. The wires are up here in the top. So if we come up here, pull these down, the wires are actually up here for those. It'll dig a little bit, but they're up here for those switches. Those are wired for future. If you wanted to add something to those, you can actually run wires from that cabinet. Everything in here is removable and accessible to the wires. So it's not just buried behind the walls. You can get to everything. I purposely did things that way.
You can put a disco ball and run the...
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Just check. And
So-
a stripper pole disco ball. Perfect.
So this is the switch for the lights in the ceiling over the kitchen area.
Okay.
And then these are the lights on the cabinet for the undermount lighting. And these are just Velcroed in, stay in place nicely.
And these are magnetic. These
Yep.
are.
They catch, so.
Gotcha.
All right, so closet area. This is the paperwork for every product in here. Just some miscellaneous stuff that I need to get out. This would be my closet area. That is the manual lock on the bed.
In case you lose power, yeah?
In case you lose power. Plus I have the magnetic locks and something else I'll show you in a little while.
And this tube here is for the pressure because that bed is so tight.
Yes, when that bed closes, there was a lot of air pressure, so it needed to be able to release the pressure somewhere, so I had to add that tube in. We'll start here. Bluetooth. Shut that off. So now our Bluetooth is on, you can connect to it. You can select either A or B or both. A is the interior speakers down here under your foot and on the under the cabinets. And B is the exterior speakers that I showed you that went in the covers outside. Bluetooth. This is the pump for the shower. These are the solenoid valves in the hot water cabinet. And I'm going to mark these so they're marked.
Yeah.
Basically. Now this valve is open and this valve is closed. This is the kitchen pump and valve. This is the shower pump and valve.
Okay. So let's say you want to use the kitchen and you're done taking a shower.
Done taking a shower, turn that off, turn that on, and turn the pump on, and within 10 seconds you're able to use the shower in the kitchen.
Gotcha.
This is the Victron shunt. Right now it's at 97.6% as far as the batteries. This is the ceiling lights over the bed and seating area. This is the shower lights. Shower lights are LED and are in between each groove of the ceiling.
And teak is a very durable outdoor weather
Yes,
wood.
It's marine grade. They put it on boats. All sailboats have teak, everything.
Yeah.
Just because we went with the RGB lights in case you wanted to be silly and have, you know, a turquoise shower experience. Or if you wanted to, you know, have a seizure shower. Or if you wanted just to fade from one color to the next, you can do that. On to the shower. We have the shower door that slides and retracts closed and is self-cleaning. Goes all the way back and allows you to enter the shower. We have our marble shower wall and stuff.
If you haven't seen the episode, this is fantastic because this is some...
You buy this pink 1/2 inch or 1 inch foam at Home Depot and Lowe's. And I poured epoxy on it and made it look like marble. It's lightweight, durable, and waterproof.
And Stone Coat epoxies are putting these in homes. So
Yes.
This is home grade stuff. It's really, really durable. This is for your remote sensor for the lights if you saw that and wondering what that was.
Shower head, little rain shower head, valve. So plenty of shower power to run the shower. Not a problem. This is a selectable valve. So right now it's on shower. If I turned it sideways like that, now it's on bathtub mode. Well, we don't have a bathtub. So what that does is it pulls from the tank and empties the tank. So they pull all the water out and put it through a separate pipe and dump it out on the ground. So if you're cleaning your tank out, that's how you're going to do it.
Great.
And then you just refill your tank. You can put a hose in the shower and do it that way, which works, or you can fill it out at the tank. We have a vent fan grill here for the vent exhaust fan to get rid of the steam. And we have another one up underneath here in the toilet area that gets rid of the stench.
Perfect. And how do you turn those on?
So you turn that on via here. And also turns on the light over the toilet.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay.
We have a marine grade hatch here that you can unlock and open. It has a weather seal on it all the way around. and it has a nice deep compartment to store toiletries, water filters, toilet paper, whatever.
Which also has a teak sealing on the inside of
Yes,
your
the
compartment.
teak runs all the way through.
It's just super.
So here is the toilet.
There's a whole episode on this as well, all this stuff.
So this is a wrap-on bagged toilet system. Basically, you do your business. We'll call this our business. And you hit flush, and it goes away. And it takes about a minute, and it seals that bag, and the bag is biodegradable, and you can actually dump a pouch of stuff in there that basically solidifies or coagulates the liquids. You throw the pouch and everything in there, and it's biodegradable. It's like throwing away a diaper, and you dispose of it.
It also has a cover on it, yeah?
Yep, that's the cover that goes on it, and this cover here is actually the cover that goes on the bottom of it, this other green cover.
Okay.
And you can literally fold it up and put it away in a compartment, or take it out in the woods with you, or whatever.
So if you're boondocking, you could take that whole
Yes,
thing.
they have a battery option that you could literally take this somewhere else.
Because it's portable.
Because it is portable, has handles and all that. Your fax has sent. So, our business is in the bag, and it is sealed up.
Awesome. Now, so if you did number 1 in there, would you have to add that coagulant, or you could just number 1 and send it?
Well, the number 1 is what you want to turn to a solid.
Gotcha. So you want to put that
Yeah.
packet in there if you number 1.
Right. This is a matching cover that hides a bunch of wires and bus bars and stuff like that are above the bulkhead. That was factory area of wiring. I added to it a little bit, and that matches the covers on the couch. So this is a standard plantation shutter that was given to me by you. And then I cut this one up, took about 6 slats out, and it works perfect for right here. I screwed it to the wall. I can get to the screens, I can let light in, or I can shut it down and have privacy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very private in here right now. Like, you can't see in, you can't see out. I mean, it's
Right.
very... I hope my wife knows where I am. I just saw the free candy sign and came in.
All that being said, where do we sleep? So, manual latch, open.
Okay. So that's the manual latch in there.
Magnet lock, unlocks. And you want to know what this was earlier. So last night, at the end of the night, I put in a small winch. That basically...
Don't call your girlfriend that.
Okay. I put in a small winch. So you press this button, it lowers the bed, you raise the bed. The bed's a little heavy, so I wanted to put something on it to make it a little easier, so it's not a 2-person job. Oh, we gotta put the feet on.
Ah.
Take these caps off.
And these are your drawers. I don't think anybody saw these drawers, but these drawers go in so that you
These
have
drawers do go in. You can stow these cushions away and go with a thinner cushion, which gives you a lot more walkway in here. I like it both ways.
You currently had it set up with the wider cushions.
I had it set up with the wider cushions. You have to...
Depends if you're having a party.
Right. You have to get rid of the cushions and fold these out in order to use the bed. The tolerances are very tight on all this. It all fits in here very perfect.
Oh, that's even magnetic locked there.
Yep.
It's crazy how much you've done to this.
So
Okay.
once the feet are on, the pads are on, we can continue to drop this bed.
Wow. Queen size bed.
Get rid of that. Now we got a queen size memory foam mattress, you know, that you can sleep well on.
That's you're fulfilling a lot of people's dreams right now doing that in fantasy. Not mine. Not mine.
And then morning time you take your pillows off. So also the way I set this up is to take these big cushions.
Did you buy this rope with that done like that? Is this like that when you bought it?
I bought it came with steel cable. I bought I bought this rope extra.
How did you get this on there?
Oh, that's like that. This is a synthetic winch rope. This is for a winch.
Wow.
So, but I'm extra, and I didn't want steel cable. I wanted gray to match everything.
Where did you buy a synthetic winch rope like that?
Amazon. So I set these up to act as your headboard. There's a space in here that these slip into.
Come on.
And they act as your headboard. So when you got your pillows.
The only downfall I see with your headboard is you can't hook up a set of handcuffs to those. But I guess that's what...
But yeah, so got a headboard there.
Okay, so up behind here, this is the cable that goes up to the bed, and there's a pulley, and there's a freaking ATV winch. William, you are nuts.
Cheap, inexpensive ATV winch.
That's an ATV winch? Get out of here. All right, so that's no problem moving the bed if it's an ATV winch.
No, it'll move 2,000 pounds.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so it's not working hard at all.
No.
Jeez.
So.
All right. So then you take your little legs off, put them away, and then...
Yep, take the legs away.
And this actually has magnetic locks that are up there holding it in, and then he has a safety lock inside here that will go in. For some reason you lost power and the magnetic locks came off. It's not going to come
Now it's got a
crashing.
winch on it too, so.
And it's got a winch on it, so goodness gracious.
It's not going to fall on anybody.
Quadruple redundancy. USB ports. You've got your USB ports on this side of the bed.
And this side.
And that side of the bed, which is awesome.
Got power here. There is power in here. This refrigerator runs on 110 or 12 volts. There is actually power up in the cubby hole that powers the toilet.
Oh, and then to get to the front cab here is up underneath here. This is a switch that turns off the magnetic lock. If you do this, it doesn't shut because the magnetic lock has to be turned back on. But he's got felt here, he's got felt in between, and when we shut this here, now it is sealed off from the inside.
Max Air fan, so during the day I keep it on the auto setting. What that does is when it gets to 78 degrees in here, it automatically starts pulling air out of here to keep it cool. Has the remote on it. And this is 10 speeds, you can go in or out. So that's air out. So now this is going to pull all the air in here out. So now it's going to pull a breeze through here and bring it up into here and pull out.
I guarantee we missed something.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, like, I mean, it's just all this little stuff. This shelf, William put together, it's got teak, right? Teak, pine, and poplar?
Yep, teak, pine, poplar, and then the epoxy center, which is a gray marble. All the items that are on the shelf are screwed or glued to the shelf so they won't move, so you don't have to remove the items when you're taking things down, or when you're letting the bed down. It all stays up there.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Can't believe you did all of this in 5 months to take it from what it was to this.
My intention when I set out to build this was not to sell these or go into business. I have a full-time job that I have to, pay attention to, that provides me a living and paying my bills, and I'm also providing a service to children. We teach high school, what have you. So when I built this, it was to build me and my girlfriend a nice camping rig. I did my research and I set out to build it, and I learned a lot along the way and met a lot of cool people. But the offers, as in the last 3 weeks, have flooded me, our inbox with, hey, how much does William want for this, or how much, what's your price, or whatever, can I make you an offer? And like I said, I wasn't prepared for that. That wasn't my deal. That was not why I set out to build this. A young lady in California contacted me multiple times, and we agreed on a price, and the ambulance has been sold. She put a deposit down, and it'll be on to the next one. So we're not gone. We're not done. We're going to build another one, or I'm going to build another one.
He's going to build another one. So just so everybody understands the roles, we both are construction teachers, and he's obviously the talented one. Dude, you're doing such a good job. Let me put this on camera and kind of document what you're doing with this. So literally this whole build, we say we and a lot of this stuff, but literally I might hand him a screwdriver every now and then. This is William's whole build. It's just crazy how talented he is, and kind of how this has turned out.
I would not have documented it or put the stuff on Instagram without Kyle. He pushed me to do that. That's not my wheelhouse. I'll build you anything under the sun, but I'm not that guy that's going to film it and talk about it too much. This is all new to me, so. But yeah, so the ambulance is sold. A lucky young lady in California will pick it up the first week of July, and she is going to drive it cross country back to California.
Nice.
To start her adventure in this rig.
Great. I hope she has an Instagram or something that people can kind of follow it from.
She does, and I'll let her take care of that.
Yeah, if that's something that she's into. I don't know if she's going to, but I'd love to follow
she
her.
said she was going to try to come up with a handle for Instagram that to change her current handle or whatever. I'll let her come out and say all that, and hopefully, if things work out right, my goal is to shoot another video when she gets here, introducing her and showing her the rig and handing over those keys. So maybe it'll be the ma'ambulance.
Or the glambulance.
Something. I think,
or something neutral like the RV.
The womambulance.
The womambulance, yeah.
So,
I think it could be
but
weird.
whatever. So that's I guess that's a wrap.
Yeah. Just so anybody that's watching that may be kind of following you through our adventures here, the plan is you're thinking or you are going?
I'm currently looking for the next rig. I haven't located one yet. What I'm looking for is a little harder to find. I'm wanting a 4-wheel drive this time. They don't come up very often. When they do, they're a lot of money. So.
And you want a Kodiak?
I'd like to have a Kodiak. I like the look of them. I do like the Duramax platform. But like I said, we'll see. We might end up with another 7.3 E350 and go that route.
We know where there's one right now.
I do know where there's one that's relatively reasonably priced. But we'll see.
We'll go look at it
Only
today.
time will tell.
Okay, guys. Hey, thank you. If you've watched this far into the video, we appreciate your support of watching what William is doing. That's the whole reason I filmed it, so you all can see it. I feel like it's helping a lot of people. We get a lot of people asking questions and responses, so I feel like it's definitely helping you out there.
We have somebody locally that's building an ambulance right now. He's going to meet up with us this weekend just for some pointers and advice, By no means am I a guru on this, but I've had tons of people reach out to me, ask me questions and stuff like that. So I try to help. If you're working on a build and you want to know something or need more details on something we did here, shoot us a message. We'd be glad to help you.
Yeah. So, keep anything in the comments, or if you're watching, following Williams at man_bulence. And that title may change depending on the next rig, or you might keep that or whatever, but that's a good way to
2.0.
2.0, we'll add that to the end. But you can direct message him there. You can direct message me at Modern Greaser. We both shuffle through the questions. That's just kind of teamwork, how we do things. Or you can go through the YouTube channel and ask questions, comments on there. I take a little bit longer to get to some of the questions on there, but anyways, make sure you guys are subscribing, and hopefully we'll catch you we're going to do the next episode will be on going to Cars and Coffee, taking this thing to Cars and Coffee, get some reactions, and hopefully when she picks it up, maybe he can talk me into one of these things. I have a young child and probably not going to work that way. Plus mine would look like dog doo-doo where his is, nobody would want to watch mine. Check you later.
Check you later.